Exactly. Thanks, everyone. So, yeah, I'm Sebastian from Deutsche Telekom, building for the International Wholesale Unit a digital service portfolio platform. And my focus is CPaaS and workflow automation, which means delivering a CPaaS platform connected to our telecommunications backend, and on top of that, providing a CPaaS stack. The service portal, global carrier service portal that we launched in May, announced at ITW, is going to get a major overhaul on a next event. So what you see is kind of a sneak preview between some beta features, but on our live products, everything is live. That you see here, as I mentioned, we have a digital service portal launched as global carrier. There are a couple of services in, some of those that have been mentioned already. My focus is on the lower two, CPaaS and workflow automation. An important part of this is that we are not selling directly to enterprises, we are selling to other carriers as a wholesaler, and we build a platform that enables them to go into their markets with something we call portal as a service. So you get a whole white label portal that with a few clicks you can actually customize for yourself, for addressing a basic CPaaS and other use cases, as well as consuming some of the more wholesale-like product. Important point for us is, and one of the key motivations, the platform is built entirely in Europe. That means on European platforms. We're not using any US hyperscaler. From Deutsche Telekom's perspective, from a Telecommunications Act, that's not possible. So the entire stack, including the CPaaS stack, is built on non-US hyperscaler platform in Europe, operated from within Europe, and also all the other features that you see, like workflow automation, the AI stuff, everything is basically hosted by us or by partners and operated from within Europe. If I want to put our platform a bit and the challenge what I'm going to show you in perspective, I would say something between what we saw yesterday. I like the classification, CPaaS 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. It's something in between, right? It's not really a ready-made app that I'm going to show you, so it doesn't classify, in my opinion, as 3.0. It uses basic CPaaS features. There's also not a CPaaS features that are like surprising or something entirely new, but the fact that I could compose these applications myself, that I could build them following customer requests for one of the apps, and another one is more or less tailored for this event. So the fact that I could do this myself, the fact that I didn't need any third party, and the fact that, of course, we are not just addressing end users, we are addressing system integrators and other wholesalers, as I said. So the level of customization they might want to do in these apps is a bit different than for classic use cases. And all of that is possible with the apps that we're doing. On top of that, what you don't need necessarily is an IT integration. So one of our pain points internally in Telecom is the IT part. So you can build and integrate nice products, but you have pain in the billing integration, everything. We're trying to take that pain a bit away from our customers by offering also an integrated price management, billing in the platform. So essentially they can get from us rated CDRs that they can then put on the customer's bill. So also this is something I'm not going to demo, but I wanted to mention it because it's important to understand the proposition, which is a bit different from some of the other players. A key point that I mentioned is the workflow automation. It's essentially a tool that you can trigger from external applications or from within our CPaaS application, and then you can execute one or more actions. Again, one of our key points is that the data we might transmit might be CRM lookups, might be healthcare-related data, other data. Again, for us, it was important that we don't rely on third-party services outside Europe, so we rely here on open source framework that we're hosting and extended ourselves. We have more than 50 services integrated. I didn't use any of the pre-integrated services. I used a lot of webhooks here to make all of that stuff work, because we are not fully there yet with our stack, but we'll see how far we got in preparation. And yeah, essentially, as I mentioned, the framework we're going to go through it is also branded, customized, even though it's a separate application. So we make sure the customer experience that our customers can offer is a rather coherent one. Before diving into the demo, the key takeaways, the 4 points I think I believe are important for you to look at are the portal as a service part. So the portal that we offer for consuming our services, but specifically also for providing a branded version for our customers, more or less out of the box, is a thing I think is very important if you look at CPaaS from a wholesale perspective, because some of these things are not really that obvious why we as a wholesale unit are doing what we're doing. The second point, of course, is the CPaaS and the workflow automation part, relying heavily on both open source as well as very strong industry technology providers. The third part is solving customer problems. The first demo I'm going to show you was based on a very particular customer problem that, while talking to the customer, we were actually able to build that demo, click it together, see if that's what the customer wants, and then develop on top of that. And the fourth point is tailored new products at scale. We are, of course, also working on trying to understand customer needs, having a flexible framework with workflow automation to help our customers and their customers address these needs, and then trying to use these kind of templates and, of course, also productize this. And I saw today the guys did a release that even included that. The first use case is a rather simple one. I have here two phones, an Android phone and an iPhone. I'm trying to get this up here. I don't know if you see that. No, you don't. Probably because of the... yeah, so here's an Android phone and iPhone, and I got to go back here. It's a simple number mapping service, and we're going to dive into these features. Basically, we had a customer who had branches in 2 countries. He wanted to have each of the, they basically had 2 expensive calls from one country to the other. What we are doing is as well supply numbers. So we supplied them numbers in one country, another country, linked these numbers to our platforms, and allowed them to call each other with map numbers that are both in both countries considered local numbers. So everyone had a number on their SIM card and a cloud number from the other country, and you could do cross-styling. I'm just going to show that practically how that worked. So what we have here is we have an iPhone, Android phone representing these customers. We have on top 2 numbers how to reach these users. And if I would now take the iPhone and I would, sorry, let's take the Android because it's visible. If I dial the 07 here, remember 07 in the end. So I'm dialing the 07 number here. What you see is that number connects to our platform. The platform does the number translation according to the configuration, and the iPhone is ringing. It's not ringing because I put it on silent. Let's try that again. Yeah, you see here, do you see that? Yeah, it's ringing. And I can now answer the call. I see here 606 as a calling party. So if I would call back now the Android phone, just dial here on the missed call. What you see is the Android phone is receiving the call. Yeah, you see that up here. Again, it's maybe not rocket science, but for our customer to do that with a CPaaS platform, with their existing number provider, and especially without having to build and deploy any code themselves, and also without any information, of course, leaving the EU, was quite important. The next scenario is with audio, so it's maybe a bit more exciting. What did we do here? Very quickly, we built a platform that has a phone number hooked up to our CPaaS. And this is now kind of something I've been working on. I'm not sure it will work. We'll see. We have the workflow automation. We have our global carrier GenAI stack behind that uses an internal LLM of Deutsche Telekom. So we did not rebuild anything here. We just added a part that supports RAG, so extending and augmenting data for the query. We put a speaker list in there, and I'm trying to call that number to see if we get any information on the speakers. Which one? The hand mic, yeah, good. Okay, try that again.
Please ask a question about CASA24 speakers.
Who from Infobip did attend the event?
According to the list, 3 individuals from Infobip attended the event. 1. Asa Larson, regional.
So it will now read the list. You can call this number, ask other questions. I've asked earlier if a punk attended, so he was also referring to Adrian earlier. So that works as well. And I see I have very little time to actually go through the portals. I'll just refer to the link here, digital services of our portal. Yeah, basically in here we have the Telekom version where you see all our services. If I would log in into the branded version, maybe very quickly, then you see that it changes color. So we have here a carrier called Raven Carrier, which is our customer. It's a sample carrier. That carrier has a customer called Birdfood Inc., and Birdfood Inc. has 2 services, a CPaaS service, as well as a workflow automation project. In the CPaaS service, we have the actual phone numbers in here that you see we called. These phone numbers are hooked up to our Raven workflow automation system, and inside the Raven automation, the Raven workflow system, what you see is that, if it opens up, what you see is that here we are doing our showcase. Skip this version. So we have here our lookup. Let's look in the last execution here. You see here in the showcase where I was asking if who attended the event. So please ask a question about CASA24. You see also executed a minute ago the second execution, and you would see in here who from InfoBip did attend the event, and in the answer we actually see the list of people that attended that is passed as a response onto our platform. Yeah, I just want to make sure I'll not go through the application, but this was all basically live and working without, as I mentioned, any external service. We are using an open source stack called Helix to bridge our AI system with this part. And yeah, very excited to be able to present this, even though it was a bit hot needle when we put it all together, but at least it all worked somehow. So thanks a lot for your attention.